And how does,
Yeah, so you were asking about the transition. I wanted to get that on the recorded part, just so
okay, sure.
everybody else knows that. So by the way, I've hit record, so you're being recorded. If you want to turn your camera off, you can, although I love to
I'm
see.
gonna turn my volume off, so I'm not making noise. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So the transition call is something that you'll book like week 10, 11, 12, just at the end. And that's where I go over how to reintroduce some of the gray area foods. Now, if you, and it's just me and you on that call. So if you've hit your goal, if you haven't hit your goal, I'm going to suggest different things for you. I'm also going to suggest different supplements for you. If you've reached your goal, it's not going to be much. If you haven't, there might be a few things that we can try to get you there. But the gray area foods are primarily the red meat, the legumes, the dairy, and the gluten. I'm not going to recommend we go back to coffee just because of its acidity and it's highly pesticided. Um, I mean, about obviously, if you have a coffee here and there, it's not that big of a deal, but I don't usually recommend that. It's your choice. You're an adult. You can do what you want. Sugar, obviously, we're going to avoid that as much as possible. And if you've listened to any of these other group calls, you know the dangers of the sugar. I usually dive pretty deep into that, at least a couple of times during your 3-month period here. So anyway, that's what the transition call will go over. So be sure to book that if you are on the actual coaching program, because you're entitled to that. You get at least 3 one-on-one coachings. Again, if you need help extra, you're struggling, book a 4th one. I'll give it to you. But get your transition call as well. All right, so let me go ahead and start here. All right. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. All right, so just in time, Danielle, perfect timing. I'm just now getting started. I've been doing this, hopefully you guys seen part 1 and part 2, but this is part 3 of the fitness series. The first week we did physical fitness and I kind of took a deeper dive into the exercise portion. Your physical fitness is very much nutritionally inspired, but I really wanted you guys to get a good lesson on what to do and how to do and what you're looking for and what guidelines for the exercise portion. Part 2 was the mental fitness, the mindset strategies. It was, as someone said in the group call last week, it was a good pep talk for the day before Thanksgiving. So it was just kind of getting your mind right, setting your own personal boundaries and all of that. So today is spiritual fitness, and this is part 3, the final piece. And I'm going to tie these all together today. So you'll understand this is not going to be a lesson on religion at all. You have your own personal choice on religion. I'll go into all that later, but I'm going to tie this spiritual fitness on how it affects your physical fitness. So these will all come together. Okay, so today I've got some shout outs and some welcomes. We're going to talk about why it's important. We're going to talk about what it actually is. I'm going to talk about how to get there. I'm going to talk about how it affects your physical body, having a spiritual practice. I'm talking about how it fits into the success formula. And I talked a bit about that last week. It's also in module 2 in the course, the success formula. So hopefully you've seen all that by now, but again, I will review that with you today. I also have a treat for you. I'm going to do a guided meditation. So if you're so inclined, you feel welcome to enjoy that. It's kind of a nice peaceful way to end our call today. And then I'll open it up for questions and answers at the end. But it's a small group, like I was saying earlier. The holidays have hit, so these groups tend to get a little bit smaller during the month of December and even a little bit at the end of November. So I definitely am recording this because a lot of you are traveling already. So I want you guys to get all this information, please. I hope that you're listening to the replays if you can't get these live, because there's 12 weeks do go by fast. It doesn't seem like it while you're in it, but once it goes by, all these little bits and pieces of information I give you for 12 weeks is really going to help you stay the course and use this as a lifetime. So please, I hope that you can join live and ask all your questions. Bring a million questions. If you guys know me at all, you know I love questions. So, all right. So today we've got Echo. She's down, and she's new. She's down 21 pounds already. So go, Echo. I'm super happy for you. And she's got a lot of challenges as well. Iris, just finishing up. She's down 30 pounds. And what was cool about what she said to me, and it just gives me goosebumps to think about it. But she said she found a strength within her that she didn't really know she had. And so it's just really about digging in, and it's all part of the spiritual fitness and that mental fitness. So dig into the written work in module 2 if you can, because you might too find some strength that you didn't even know you had. Elizabeth, she said her cholesterol is down 30 points in just 60 days. So that's huge. And Barbara is down 11 pounds in just a month. She's feeling extremely encouraged. And others are starting to see a difference in her face and in her skin and her weight loss. So, and she says she just doesn't feel as thick anymore. And I get that. When I'm not in my best and I'm feeling bloated, I feel thick. I know exactly what that feeling feels like. So congratulations, Barbara, on just not feeling thick and all of the wonderful, it shows on the outside when we get the inside good. So congratulations to all of you who are doing the deal, even though you don't feel like it, even though it's Thanksgiving, even though it's holiday season. Congratulations to all of you who are doing your very best. And that's all that I can ask. Oh, I want to shout out some welcomes: Kimberly, Candy, Sherry, Megan, Elizabeth, Miriam, Nicole, Pam, Chris, Mitzi, Wendy, Priscilla, Lisa, Carol, Rebecca, and Sandra. Welcome, 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 welcome in. All right. All right, so the types of fitness, as I mentioned, I'm going through the series. There's physical fitness, your agility, your speed, your balance, your muscle endurance, your muscle strength. There's different kinds of fitness, physical fitness. But being very well, it's not absence of absence of disease, but it's feeling wonderful. It's feeling amazing. And that's what I'm hoping each and every one of you gets from doing this program. Mental fitness, getting a right mindset is the most important piece of fitness equipment you will ever use. Because if you talk yourself out of doing any of the things that you know you need to do, it won't get done and you won't see the results. So we've got to shift our mindset. We've got to shift the way we think and feel about the food. We've got to shift the way we think and feel about the exercise or the meal prep. We don't maybe want to do that. It's called adulting. But to get in the right frame of mind, we got to practice those things too. Today, I'm going to go over the spiritual fitness, and I just love this topic. I just think it's really cool, and I think it's underrated. And nobody really dives in and talks about this very much, but it's very important. And then financial fitness. And this is the topic that I will absolutely not be talking to you guys about because I am not an expert in that area. In fact, I'm taking courses on that as well. So if, like what you guys are doing, if you're not sure how to get healthy, take the course. And you are here, so you're taking the course. So congratulations to all of you who are here, or if you're listening to this as a replay. All right, so let's dig in. Here, we got the mind, the body, and the spirit. If we get all those three things together, it can create an overall sense of wellness. So having the right mindset or what we think, if we have negative self-talk, what we're doing is programming the subconscious mind. If we have positive self-talk, what we are doing is programming the subconscious mind. So be careful what you say and be careful what you think, because you are listening. The subconscious version of you is listening. So it's really important. What you feed your mind is as important as what you feed your body. And I made that up. I'm probably not the first person to say that, but that's my famous quote. What you feed your mind is important as what you feed your body. So keeping your mind in the right place. We're all going to have the monkey mind, the internal dialogue that wants to talk us out of the thing. Oh, you don't have to do that. You should sleep in, skip the gym. You could just do the drive-through this one time. You know, there's always going to be some of that old stuff, but that's the old subconscious mind trying to get you back into the comfort zone. So what you think is extremely important, and feeding your mind with the good stuff, reading good articles, showing up to these courses, listening to this as a replay will get the good stuff in your mind so that you can program your subconscious mind. How are we feeling? So when I asked you to write out your vision in module 2, it's very important to feel what it feels like to have already achieved it. By feeling the feelings, this is how we attract what it is that we want to manifest in our lives. So feeling the feelings is a key component. Yesterday, I talked about affirmations and even making your own recording with your own voice with certain affirmations that inspire, you know, making good decisions throughout the day. I am making healthy choices today. I am setting boundaries. I am taking care of my mind and my body. I am focused on getting my task done. Certain affirmations, if you put it on a record, but you give yourself a moment, give yourself like 30 seconds between each of those affirmations. And you get, so if, when you're listening to this as a recording, you can give yourself, 20, 30 seconds to feel what it feels like to achieve your goals for the day. Feel what it feels like to achieve the goals for the month or whatever it is that you want. Feel what it feels like to have the energy to play with those kids or grandkids. Feel what it feels like to look at your doctor and say, you know what, I guess I'm done with all that blood pressure medication or the metformin or the insulin or the cholesterol medicine. So you got to evoke your feelings of what it feels like to have achieved your goal. Because what happens is that will create a new belief system for you. And every single decision we make, every action that we take is based on what we believe. So if we're thinking in the right way, we're bringing the good feelings to that, we're automatically going to believe what we need to believe to take the right actions. So I thought I'd look it up. What is spiritual fitness? The beliefs and practices that strengthen your connectedness with source of hope, meaning, and purpose. Spiritual fitness is critical to developing overall wellness. So these are definitely all related. All right, so here, sorry. I'm moving your little faces so that I can see my screen. Could anybody, I would love for you guys to unmute. It's just like 5, 6 of you here today. So if anybody wants to unmute and take a guess, I've got a list of things here, but I would love to know why you would guess. Why do you think spiritual fitness could be important to you? Does anybody have a guess?
It's grounding.
Very good. Excellent. I think that's in one of my notes here. That word is on my notes. It's very good. Anybody else? Okay. Okay, I'll go.
I have one more, Tammy. I think that the more I'm tuned in that perspective, the calmer I feel and the less I trip on things during the day. And I think that affects every cell in my body.
I think that's 100% beautiful, correct answer. That is exactly right. And I'm going to dig into that right now, but it's exactly right. It does affect every cell in your body. I'm going to go over the physical part of what stress can do and how, the spiritual fitness actually helps relieve the stress and the anxieties and all of that stuff. So growth is the first one I have on my list. And so how does spiritual fitness help you grow as a human being? It can help you have a deeper sense of purpose, a deeper sense of inner peace and resilience. It increases your fulfillment to navigate your life with meaning. So we're able to grow as human beings, and when we're having a spiritual fitness, and I'll go into how to get there in a minute, but what it does for you is it can help you aspire and have hope for bigger and better things, to grow as a human being. So how does it help us develop? Well, when we have a spiritual practice, it can help us develop our core values, and which basically helps us live our best life. When we have core values and we kind of put some lines in the sand and setting boundaries, setting personal boundaries, setting emotional boundaries, setting food boundaries, setting limits to what you're going to allow yourself as treats for the holiday, but setting certain boundaries, we develop as better human beings. It can help with mental health as we develop, as we grow as adults and become more and more mature. Mental health can help improve your mental health. As I started to say, it reduces anxiety and it reduces stress. It can help reduce the anger that we sometimes experience. It can increase inner peace, self-reflection, which can lead to more goal setting. So we self-reflect and we go, gosh, I'm here, but I'd really like to be there. How do I develop? It's like, okay, well, if I'm here, but I want to be there, what's the path? So you hire the coach, you hire the program, you sign up for the course, you read the book, you sign up for fitness class, whatever the case is. But when you have your spiritual practice, and you have that self-reflection, it can help you with goal setting, which can ultimately help you reach your goals. All right, so the next one is recover. This can, to recover from bad things, life happens. We are human beings, we're having human experiences. Not everything is sunshine and roses. But recovering, if you have a spiritual practice, it helps you have a sense of purpose, helping you cope with challenges. We got to recover. We either going to let it take you out, or we're going to recover and beat it. Which one do you choose? But if you have a spiritual practice, it gives us that sense of purpose. It helps us cope with the challenges, managing stress. It cultivates positive emotions like hope and the ability to grow as a human being and recover from the traumas and from whatever hits us. It could be anything from a disease, a condition, a car accident, an emotional something. If we have a spiritual practice, we can recover a lot better. But certainly not having a spiritual practice makes recovery a whole lot harder. Perseverance. With perseverance, obviously having a spiritual practice can give us some resilience in the face of adversity. It can increase peace and hope. Resilience, having a spiritual practice can help you navigate challenging situations. Having your spiritual practice can give you kind of a source of support. So even if you're physically alone without other humans, if you have some kind of connectedness, you feel supported in some way. So it feels grounding. There's the grounding word I was looking for, or that you shared with us. So what did I write? Source of support and grounding when facing adversity in life. So this helps with our resilience. It helps us bounce back more efficiently from setbacks and helps us have a positive outlook on life. Healing. With a spiritual practice, it increases our ability to cope with trauma, illness, anything that does happen to us, whether it's physical, emotional, mental. And it increases our hope to help us heal. And lastly, it can heal the physical body having a spiritual practice. And this is what I'm going to go into in the next slide. But it can reduce stress. It can increase a positive outlook or mindset. It increases the sense of purpose, which helps us want to take care of our physical body, which ultimately will lead to a physical fitness. So let's get into that, how that works. All right, let's see. All right, so we have what's called an autonomic nervous system. And there's two parts to it. There's a sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight or flight. And then there's the parasympathetic nervous system, which is rest or digest. So how do these affect the human body? All right, so when we are in danger, and I put a picture of this guy with a knife, some mysterious guy in the dark, and he's scary. And it's very scary. So we need a sympathetic nervous system for survival. If you live in a very safe neighborhood, you still might be crossing the street and you look up and there's a big giant truck coming at you. Or it could be a dog in the neighborhood who got loose and he's chasing you. You better have a good sympathetic nervous system that's going to save your life, literally. So what happens when we are in the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or the flight? The heart rate goes up. The peripheral vasoconstriction happens. And what's cool about that, the body is absolutely brilliant. So if this scary guy in this picture below does get us with the knife, what happens, or we do get into that fight with the dog or the person or the whatever, the bear, because we've had the vasoconstriction in our outer limbs, it's the whole purpose of that is so we don't bleed out as fast. There's less blood here. So if we do get stabbed or cut or bit, we're not going to bleed as much. So again, this will save your life. It's very important. Your eyeballs will dilate so that you can see every bit of danger. You can see everything you need to do to prepare yourself to either run or fight back. Also, what happens is your digestion absolutely stops. You do not need to digest that apple or that chicken dinner right now. You need to get the hell out of the way, or you need to find a rock or a knife or some way to fight back. You're either going to fight or you're flight. But the last thing your body needs to bother spending any of its energy on is your digestion. Just don't need that right now. That can wait. Same with the immune system. You may have been exposed to a flu bug, COVID, a cold, some kind of illness or sickness. This microscopic little bug or virus in your body needs to be addressed by your immune system. Absolutely. We need that immune system to go in there and kick it out. That's what the immune system does. But right now, in this moment, with the scary guys coming at you, or the bus coming at you, or the bear coming at you, or the dog, the last thing, you do not need to worry about a microscopic little virus. Right now, you need to spend all of your energy either in fight or flight. So your immune system stops. And this is very, very, very important because your life is on it's life or death right now. This guy's coming at you with a knife. You need to have every bit of energy that's going to save you from that. All these other things can wait, right? The problem is so many of us live in the fight or flight state all the time. We wonder why our gut is jacked up. We wonder why our immune system, we're getting sick every 6 weeks or 6 months even, which is too much. The gut is not working. The gut is not doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. This is stuff all stops. So when we're in this state too much, that's not a healthy thing. So we want to find ways to get ourselves back to rest and digest, back to the parasympathetic nervous system, which brings your heart rate back to normal. Your breathing comes back to normal. Your digestion starts to happen again. When we were running from that bear, we weren't looking for a bathroom, that's for sure. So now when we come back to the parasympathetic, oh gosh, guess I gotta go pee. When you were running from that guy with the knife, the last thing you were doing is looking for a bathroom, unless it was to lock the door and stay safe. It certainly wasn't to use the toilet. And then, of course, your immune system resumes as well. So it's very important that we calm everything down. We find ways to get out of that heart rate, high blood pressure, heavy breathing, dilated eyes. Oh my God, I'm going to die if I don't do something state to the parasympathetic state. So how do we do that? All right, so part of it, I remember one of the slides previous, I talked about your feelings and how feelings matter. And your feelings bring upon a certain vibration or a frequency. And they call that in the law of attraction. How does the law of attraction work? The law of attraction is basically a philosophy behind the law of attraction the basic philosophy behind the law of attraction is that energy precedes manifestation. As such, positive thoughts may bring positive results into a person's life, but the same goes while negative thoughts bring the opposite. So the more negative vibrations or frequencies that we're practicing, the more we're going to find more negative things that we're attracting or manifesting. This is the law of attraction. So the whole goal of this topic is to raise your level of vibration, to raise your frequencies to a higher vibration. So having a spiritual practice will do that. So, if we're living in shame or guilt or apathy or fear or grief or desire or anger or pride, these are lower vibrational feelings and they're not going to serve you. So we have to find ways that bring us up. And like I was talking about all of the benefits of having a spiritual practice, that sense of purpose, that sense of joy, that sense of hope, all of those things are going to bring you up into those 300s, 400s, 500s, maybe even having some just inner peace. That's way up at a 600. And so, again, having a spiritual practice is extremely important to raise those vibrations, to attract more of the higher vibrational stuff. Like attracts like. We don't attract what we want, we attract what we are. So we have to become a higher vibrational person, but in a way to do that is your spiritual practice. I hope that makes sense. I don't even know why I put that there. All right, so here we go. How do we get there? How do we get those higher vibrations? How do we get to that parasympathetic state where our body is calm, we can make good decisions, we can feel better, we feel at peace, we have that hope, we have that groundedness, we have that deeper sense of purpose, coping with stress, resilience, being able to face adversity, being able to grow as a human being, and knowing that we can get there, knowing we're supported. Number one is prayer. Again, I'm not trying to go religious, but prayer is a really good place to start. You have your own personal feelings about that, but coming into prayer, you don't feel alone. You feel it gets you that sense of connectedness. It gives you that sense of support, being able to, and there's no wrong way to do it. However, I suggest, you can pray for what you want. You can pray for other people's health or wellness or well-being. You can pray for your own. And then we've got to have some quiet time in between there too. But prayer is a really, really good way to get to that, having a spiritual practice. Visualization. I think the next slide is this success formula, but this is very important. Visualizing what you want to create, visualizing the results, why you signed up for this program, or maybe you want more money, or maybe you want a better relationship, or maybe you want your house to be cleaner. Whatever you want to achieve, you've got visualizing it is a really, really great way to start, but as if it's already done. So when you visualize it, it's going to bring a certain feeling. It's joyful. Oh my gosh, I achieved my goal. This feels really good. What does it look like to have the energy to play with my grandkids? What does it look like to zip up my favorite jeans or wear that little black dress? What does it look like to be looking at and talking to my doctor and discussing taking me off the meds? Visualizing what you want can really raise your vibration if you're in the state of it's already happened. This is a great way to raise those vibrations, a great way to raise those frequencies. Meditation, that's another good one. And I'll be honest, you guys, this is a tough one for a lot of us. It's very challenging for some of us with that crazy monkey mind, a lot of internal dialogue. Some of us have a lot of nervous energy. I'm one of them too. It's challenging to be quiet for a period of time. And for me, if you just focus on the breath that's coming in and out your nose, so it brings you present. Because if I say, don't think about anything, don't think about anything, and all of a sudden I'm thinking about work, I'm thinking about the relationship, I'm thinking about my house, I'm thinking about the bills. So you got to focus on one thing. And there's practices. And there's guided meditations, which I'm going to treat you guys to shortly. Breath work is another way to start a meditation practice, but this is very common. You can check your blood pressure. You can even check your pulse rate. If you're nervous, if you're having an anxiety attack or, a moment where it's just if you just practice some breath work, it will literally bring down your blood pressure. So you can test it. I mean, this is physically, you can test this. It can bring you more present, which can bring down your blood pressure, which will bring down your heart rate and bring a sense of calm, which again will raise your vibrations. And there's a million different ways to do breath work. The most common is the box breathing, where you inhale for a certain number, hold for a certain number, exhale for that same number, and then hold that exhale. So you start with 5, inhale for 5, hold for 5, exhale for 5, and then hold that for 5, and then 6, 6, 6, 6, and 7, 7, 7, and so on, go up to 10. But this only takes maybe a minute. You could do it in 30 seconds, but you watch, you'll feel calmer. Oh, gratitude. That is a huge way to raise your vibrations or your frequency. In journaling, a journal practice daily is obviously highly recommended. Just writing things that you're grateful for about yourself. And I always recommend that you can find 3 things that you did right today. We as humans, especially the women in the group, I'll speak for myself. I beat myself up if I didn't do the perfect thing, if I didn't do it right. I didn't, I ate the cookie, or should have done this. I should have done my homework. I should have done whatever. And I beat myself up. So if I can set time every day at the end of the day, say, well, I did this right, and I did this right, and I did that right. It's a reminder to myself who I'm becoming. And it's a reminder that I am growing and moving forward in my journey, in this case, health and fitness, but whatever it is. Being grateful for yourself and being grateful for other things. Be grateful for the chair you're sitting in. Be grateful that you got up this morning because your legs worked. Some people's legs don't work. Be grateful when you open your eyes, you could see. So I'm sure you could be grateful you were breathing. There's something you can find. So the more you can get in tune with that, the more you're going to find and see. The universe will show you more things to be grateful for when you practice it. It's just like, doing a bicep curl, your bicep gets stronger. The more you practice gratitude, the more you will be grateful for everything else that comes into your life. Letting go. Like when we hang on to resentments or ideas, the way that life has happened, never mind. Certain things that life happened and we didn't like the way the result came out, or you love the way the result come out, but let go of any resentment that you might have. Resentment is one of the lowest vibrational things that you can keep. And resentment, they say, resentment is like stabbing yourself in the leg and expecting the other person to feel it. So let go. Walking in nature, that is a great way. It's really almost hard to go for a walk where there's trees and there's grass and there's sunshine and there's clouds and there's wildflowers. And if you're where I'm at, there's beautiful, beautiful, just saguaro cactus, and they're also very different. And to me, they all tell a story. They each have like a battle story. It's crazy. I make up stories in my head when I do go on my hikes and I see these different cactus, and they all have battle wounds and scars and bird holes. But to me, it's like it's nature, and it feels good, and it's very calming. And it's really hard to be anxious, especially if you can walk barefoot in nature on grass, really, really grounding. That's another way to ground, is barefoot on the grass. Forgiveness, including forgiving yourself. How many times we just beat ourselves up for the same thing over and over again? Forgiving others. It's not because we agree with what they did to us. It's not that we're allowing them to do it to us again. It's not, we're not even putting them back in our life, perhaps. But if we hold on to the anger and the resentments, that's only for us. They will never know it. They will never feel it. They don't experience it. We're the only ones who experience that resentment. So forgiving is a huge way to get there. Contribution, so many of us think, we don't have enough and this economy is so bad. And yeah, prices are double on a lot of stuff. But if we can go down to, the food pantry and volunteer at Thanksgiving, or volunteer any time of year for that matter, and contribute and see how some other people are living. It's just a reminder how grateful you really are for your own life. And it feels good. Tony Robbins talks about contribution. Contribution is one of life's, we need that as humans to feel good about ourselves. So contribute, if it's money, if it's time, if it's your energy, if it's some things, maybe it's clothes, whatever it is, if you can contribute, it feels good and it will raise your vibrations. And then also music. There's a lot of music that can headbang and stuff. It has its place, I'm sure. Not sure where. Not my favorite, but if you listen to music that brings joy to your heart and your soul, that will lower your blood pressure. That will raise your vibrations. I know music for me, I've been in the fitness industry and mostly in teaching fitness, group exercise. So music was always involved in part of it. So I got to pick the music. And so I just love that little piece. I loved a lot of the pieces of the job, but being able to choose the music that I liked, that I think others would like too, of course. But that can really bring you, that's why when you go to the spa, it's very calming music. They're not playing, rock and roll with a lot of drums, right? It's spa music. Or meditation music is very calming. All right, so let's review the success formula. Number one, decide what you want. What is it that you want to create? Create it. Write out your vision. I am so happy and grateful, as if it's already happened. I am so happy and grateful now that I lost the weight, I'm off the meds, I have the energy, I can fit into my clothes, whatever it is. What is it that you want to create? There's the visualization again. See it in your mind's eye. Wow, this looks great. I'm playing with my grandchildren. I'm playing hide and go seek. I'm zipping up my favorite jeans. I feel, or I can see myself, doing the things, hiking with my friends. I couldn't do that. I couldn't go to zip lining. I couldn't do this. Now I see myself doing it. What does it look like? And then, like I said, what does it feel like to achieve those? If you see it and feel it in repeat, repetition is the mother of mastery. So if you see it and feel it, see it and feel it, see it and feel it, your subconscious mind will automatically believe it. The subconscious mind does not know real from imagined. So when you see it and feel it often enough, it triggers something in your brain to believe it. And now the subconscious mind will go out and make that happen some more. It triggers what's called the reticular activating system because you've decided it's important to do these things, to have this thing, to have this energy, to have this wellness. So now your brain will see the things it wouldn't have normally seen. You know, the yoga studio coming up, the ad for a personal trainer, you know, Dr. Infantino's program. If you weren't wanting to get healthy, you probably would never have seen the commercial, or you never would have seen the ad, but it was on your mind somewhere. And that's why you saw it. That's why you watched his video. That's why you're here. Because you thought about it at some point that you wanted to get better. So seeing it and feeling it is a good practice. You automatically believe it. And then when you see these opportunities, you see that yoga studio opening up, or you see that program, you know, online, you call them up, you make the appointment, make a consultation with that doctor. You go into that yoga studio, you buy the tennis shoes that are on sale, take the actions. You know, you see a recipe, just look at the ingredients. Is it everything you need or can have? Yes, it is. Okay, great. Make the recipe, do the actions. That is the simple version of the success formula. So hopefully you guys are all practicing that. And that's how you're going to get the results. Doesn't this just look better? I can just stare at this. So what I thought I would do is take you guys through a guided meditation. It's just going to be for a few minutes. I invite you all to join in. You guys can close your cameras, which pretty much everybody is. I don't see a single face. But anyway, if you want to turn your camera off, looks like everybody's is. So go ahead and close your eyes. And I want you to sit in your chair and put both feet on the ground. So maybe uncross your feet, and you can put your hands on your lap. If you put your hands on your lap face down, it's going to make you a little bit more grounded, a little bit more less spacey, less, you know, monkey mind, a little less, you know, internal dialogue, a little more grounded. As I said, if you place your palms up, it puts you in a position of being open to receiving love, open to receiving acknowledgement, open to receiving money, open to receiving. So place your hands any way you like and close your eyes. And we're just going to take a few breaths in and out through your nose. Meanwhile, I want you to pay attention to your feet, and you're going to relax all the little muscles in your feet. Relaxing all of the muscles around your ankles. And you're going to work your way up to your lower leg, your calves, your shins. Release any tension that's in the lower leg. You're going to release any tension around your knees. Letting go of any stress or tension in your thighs, working your way up. We often carry stress and tension in the hips. So right now on your next exhale, let go of any stress or tension in your hips. You're going to soften your belly. Releasing any tension around your ribs, around your chest. Moving into your back, around your spine. Dropping your shoulders down. Maybe you had them hiked up like earrings. Lower those shoulders down, relax your shoulders. I want to draw your attention to the muscles in the back of your neck. This is typically where we keep a lot of stress. I want you to release it now. Let it go. It no longer serves you. Release it now, let it go. Unclench your jaw. Soften your tongue. Chances are it's pressed up against the roof of your mouth and your jaw is tense. With your next exhale, let it go. Soften the little muscles around your eyes. And soften all the muscles around your scalp. So I want you to feel totally and completely relaxed from the top of your head all the way down to your toes. And now I want you to imagine in your mind's eye that you're sitting at a beach that looked just like the one you were looking at, with the beautiful turquoise waters and the beautiful white sands. And imagine yourself sitting in a beach chair, just watching the waves as they calmly roll in and roll out. Maybe you can hear the sounds of the small little teeny tiny waves rolling in and rolling out. Maybe you can smell the salt air. Maybe you even hear some seagulls. Maybe as you look out into this ocean in your imagination, you see the sea sparkling as the sun dances on the sea as it moves in and out. But most importantly, you are reminded that you are so peaceful and so happy and so loved. You feel safe and you feel joyful and you feel happy. I want you to notice what those feelings feel like physically in your body. Does the joy feel like a tickle in your belly? Does your heart pitter patter? Do you feel like you're smiling? What does it feel like physically in your body to feel peaceful and joyful and safe? So in your mind's eye, I want you to get up and walk along the beach. Walk over to the water. So as you walk along the beach and the water comes up and back and in and out, your feet get a little bit wet and you're going to walk along the beach. The water is the perfect temperature. You feel the sunshine on your shoulders. The air is perfect. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. The sunshine feels good on your face. And as you're walking, you see ahead, you see a beautiful, beautiful rock formation. And as you look, you watch how the waves hit the rocks. And it's so beautiful and it's so perfect. The rocks, the formation of the rocks is like a piece of artwork. But as you watch the waves hit, and as you look at the different formation of all these beautiful rocks, you are reminded how special you are, how joyful you feel, how safe you feel, how happy you feel. This is your paradise. This is your beach. And you feel safe and you feel happy and you feel peaceful here. You're just enjoying God's artwork in those beautiful rock formations, listening to the sounds of the water hitting the rocks, watching it pull out as it goes out, watching it come in and hit the rocks again. Just enjoy those beautiful, beautiful formations of rocks. As you're going to turn around and walk back along the beach, again, feeling the water on your feet, the sand underneath your toes. It feels so good, but most importantly, you feel safe, you feel peaceful, and you feel loved. You are special, you are important, and you are safe. You're going to head back over to your chair and sit back down, and you're going to feel comfortable. You're going to feel the sunshine on your face. And you're going to be reminded that you are happy, safe, special, loved, and at peace. I want you to know that you can take this joy and peace and the feeling of being safe with you through the rest of your day. And now I want you to start to deepen your breath, wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes, and maybe blink your eyeballs open and just becoming more present in the moment. But I want you to keep and hold on to the sense of peace, the sense of joy, the sense of feeling safe and how special you truly are in your uniqueness. And I want you to carry that with you throughout the day. And your job now is to share that with at least one other person. Maybe it's just a nod or a smile, with the cashier at the grocery store, but you're going to share that with one other person today. So that is the meditation. Does anybody have any questions? Feel free to unmute, or maybe you fell asleep. I used to do these guided meditations at the end of my yoga class. Instead of just a quiet shavasana, I would do a guided meditation. And sometimes people would fall asleep.
I really love the list of spiritual practices. That helps broaden my thinking about it. That was great.
Thank you for sharing that. I'm glad. I'm glad. That's awesome. There's a lot of things we can do that we might not have thought about. Anybody else? I think you all fell asleep. All right. So anybody have any questions about something else? It doesn't have to be on spiritual fitness. Going once. Going twice. All right.
I have one question. I just thought of, you had recommended to me about is it Lakanto in replace of maple syrup?
Lakanto. Lakanto.
Okay. And I know that maple syrup has some minerals and nutrients in it. So we're doing the maple syrup during the cleanse, but the Lakanto you would recommend just to stay away from the sugar content?
Correct. So you want real maple syrup for the cleanse, for sure. Because the whole point of it is to keep your blood sugar stable.
Okay.
But when we're eating other foods, but like if you make one of the protein pancakes with like a scoop of the protein powder and 1 egg, and you throw that in a waffle maker or make pancakes out of it, and you want a syrup on it, why add extra sugar when you don't have to? If you have a Lakanto, it's not a sugar, but it's sweet and delicious and mapley.
Okay. And what's that made out of?
I believe it's a monk fruit.
Oh, okay.
I believe it's monk fruit is the sweetener. It's not going to have the minerals. It's not the same as maple syrup. But that's kind of the point. It's not the same because it doesn't have the sugar, but it's not going to do what it needs to do during the cleanse, like the real.
Okay. Okay, super. Thank you.
Moving forward, like in my life, if I ever want a maple syrup, like I'll add a little of that to my yams. Oh, it's my favorite, just my favorite way to make my yams. But I don't want to add extra sugar. Why would I want to do that? I don't want to gain my weight back. I don't want to jack up my gut with more sugars. So I'll just use the Lakanto. There's enough sugar in the yams. I don't need to add more. Right?
Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Carmen, did you have a question? Okay. But hi, then thank you for showing your smiling face. That helps. If everybody's screen is black, I feel like I'm talking to myself. Awesome. All right. Well, if that's all there is today, that's all I've got. I hope this was helpful. I like to put the spiritual one as close to the holidays as I can. That's when I first created these PowerPoint, that series, just because it really is the reason for the season. So might as well just bank on that or capitalize on that, I suppose. But as you can see, the spiritual fitness can really affect your physical fitness in so many ways. So it's all important. Anyway, that's all I got. I will say goodbye for now. And I appreciate you all being here, and any comments or questions, I appreciate that too. And I will see you guys all next time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.